All right, looks like everybody does. And I've got plenty of extras for you as well. So these I'm going to leave with you as well.
Okay.
Okay, so for those who aren't here or new people who come in, you've got plenty to work with.
We have a few that are missing, so
All right. So before I get too much into the booklet itself, I will just say that the two booklets are one for the phone itself, which is the one that says digital key set on the outside, and that just gives you some of the basic features on the inside as far as what you can do with the phones. We're going to cover some of the basic features of the phone itself today, just specific to your situation. The other booklet, which you will need to use once we leave here, will actually assist you with setting up your voicemail. And everybody will obviously need to do that. You can't all do it at once because you only have 4 ports, so 4 people simultaneously can do it. And this is something with your voicemail that, with or without dial tone, if you have a phone, you can set it up. Once your phone is heated up in your office, then you can go ahead and do that. But we'll talk about the 5 steps that you want to take to set up your voicemail. And the nice thing is, I'm thankful that Samsung did this. If you look at the first flap, it shows you the 5 steps. I'm going to ask you, for the meantime, ignore this. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Ignore the rest. Don't get yourself into that.
Like this.
Yeah, don't get yourself in. It's intuitive. It'll talk you through it. It's natural. This makes it look very complicated and mechanical, if you will. Don't.
Actually,
Yeah. It does if you can find what you're looking for. If you can find what you're looking for. But at least the first 5 steps, and we'll talk about this last so that you'll have that fresh in your memory when you walk away here today. So voicemail will be the last thing that we'll talk about, okay? As far as the way the phones are currently set up right now, on your current system, calls come in, everything goes to auto attendant. That will not change. So everything will still go to auto attendant depending on the time of day and the day of week. It will either go to your open hours greeting or it will go to your after hours greeting. And at some point in time, you'll also want to be able to activate holiday greetings if you're not going to be here on a Monday or something like that. So that's the 3 primary greetings that we've set up when people call into the company. Your extension numbers have not changed. They're identical. So everybody who has your extension number now, when they dial it, is going to ring you if your phone's plugged in today. If it is not, it's going to go to your voicemail, which you don't have access to yet. So at some point, your phone will be plugged in, and your message waiting light will probably be on. And then we'll just follow the few steps in the voicemail to get you going on that. But as far as when a call does come in, for the most part, a call that comes into your individual phones was really destined for you to begin with because people knew your extension. So transferring calls and things of that nature are probably don't happen with everybody all that much. However, the people who do transfer quite a bit are going to be Gina, of course, or the people who cover that particular phone. So, but everybody needs to know how to do it anyway, because if you got a call that wasn't intended for you, you still need to be able to do something better than just set the handset down on a desk and go run for somebody.
yeah.
And
Because
so,
you get calls all the time.
We do.
Dial
People got the wrong extension.
and I can believe that.
Or they have to talk to somebody else, or they don't answer until you go to the right to them. It's not so bad.
So I'm going to give you the easiest way to do it and tell you that there's a couple other ways you can do it too. Okay? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I have a feeling right now that most probably just park the call on one of the park keys and intercom the station for who it's for. Would that be a safe assessment?
That's
something that we do now.
Yeah,
Part
part 1.
Yeah.
Part 1 or part 2.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's unfortunately all the overflow calls. They've taken down the system, and so what's happening is all the overflow calls now are going to fall out.
You guys are doing something different now than strictly park.
Right. I just do park.
If I know you're in your office, I just put it directly in your line. But if I'm not sure, I'll
Let me show you how to do both of those.
Okay.
Now, for those that don't want to have to think about anything or ever know how to transfer or get a call back or do anything, there's two simple ways to do this. Okay, so I want to speak to the whole crowd. So, one way to do this is when you are on the line with the caller. I am now talking with that client, and I want to go ahead and park the call, if you will, so that anybody from any telephone can pick that call up. While I'm on the phone talking with that person, I'm going to hit park 1, 2, or 3. Doesn't matter which one as long as it's open. As soon as I hit it, that caller now is hearing the on-hold music or chime or whatever we have at this time. At that point, you're back to intercom. client can't hear you, and you are able now to go ahead and just press any one of the one button touch keys that we have, and it will immediately go ahead and intercom. Let me see one of the phones that I did set up. Ryan, for example.
That
was useful.
There's only one master.
Okay. So, and by the way, right now I have all phones set to ring on intercom. How does it currently work right now? Does it just beep and then come right through the speaker?
Yeah.
Do you guys prefer that?
As
When
opposed to
when
it
you
ringing?
hit the key, do you want to just be able to talk through the phone and the other person answer back hands free?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will set that up today. So for right now, excuse me.
As opposed to it rings and they have to pick it up.
That is exactly correct. So if you would prefer, yes.
I'm sorry, because I missed this. When you, I was going to try and say something when the phone rang. If instead of them putting it on park, can we just teach them to do what we're doing, where we're just
We
hitting
need
the
to do
button?
both.
We're gonna learn both right
Oh,
now.
you guys got to do that?
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that.
Okay.
We'll do that next.
Okay.
And that will be the part that we'll do next.
I just have a question. So if you know if park, they're all lit. So if park
Yeah.
one is lit, you can't use it.
You can't use it. That's right. So if it's in use, that's correct.
You guys got to tell me
Well,
that.
but when the phone rings, I pick it up. I don't talk to people on the intercom.
It's different on intercom versus ringing phone. An outside line will never automatically beep in and come through your speaker. It will always ring. You always will have to pick it up. So if it's being transferred from auto attendant, or if the call was actually transferred to your extension, and we'll talk about transferring to your extension in just a second, because if you do use the keys, you will get a beep initially, because they can say, hey, I'm sending you so-and-so. As soon as they hang up, your phone's ringing with that outside call.
Right, that's
so
what-
it will never come through speaker when it's an external person, and believe me, you don't want it to.
No.
Okay.
That is an option, by the way.
No.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
recommend it. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't recommend
It
it.
is not enough.
So,
That is not enough.
what I've done on the phone, we kind of set these up very logically, and I hope you agree. The first two keys are your call keys. These are keys that will light up when you're on the phone, whether it be intercom or whether it be an outside caller. It's going to be on call 1 always to begin with. And if you receive a second call, let's assume that somebody calls your direct dial line while you're on the phone, it will come in on your call 2 button. It will let you know in the display that you got that second call, and you can make the determination if you want to put the first caller on hold and grab that second call, or just let it time out and go to voicemail.
Rather than flash, we do the whole thing.
There's no flash.
Okay.
Yep, no flash. That is correct. It's you'll see the second call, and that is correct. By putting it on hold and then just selecting the key for that second call, you'll be able to
And
pick that up.
You would do that, you put them on hold?
Put
as
the
opposed
first
to
caller on
park.
hold. Yeah, you don't. Well, you want to put it on hold because that first caller is your caller.
Okay.
And if you put it on park, somebody else can pick it up.
Okay.
When you put it on hold, nobody else can pick it up. So nobody else can pick up a call when it's been put on hold on your phone.
Okay.
And when I say nobody can, everybody can do everything if you know the right code and
Right.
and you know the process. What I'm saying is that we haven't made it easy to do that. Okay? It's basically set more as you would expect. If you put a call on hold, it's really just for you to be able to get back to it. Okay.
And you can get back to it at any.
Yeah, I've set it for 80 second wait time before it rings back to your telephone,
Okay.
which I think is reasonable because it's very possible you can put somebody on hold, have to go check a filing cabinet or something. That could take a minute or two easy. And so it's just better to go ahead and the standard that I've been doing right now is a 3 minute on hold before it rings back to your phone.
Okay.
Sounds like a long time, but it's not. Believe me. You know, call any other California department and you'll realize that 3 minutes is amazing. That would be faster than lightning.
At least twice.
All right.
Fabrizio to call the franchise tax board and then do something else and leave them on hold.
So let's talk about, again, getting a call to another person. While you're talking to them, again, you can park it and intercom them and let them know it's on that park key. And once they pick up, it's over. You're done. The second way, and this is what Paulette was talking about, and I want to make sure she hears this as well. But the second way,
You have to talk very loud.
well, she's on the phone, so I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm going to let her. We'll recap it. We'll recap it. But the second way is while, again, you're talking on the phone with that person, you don't put them on hold, you don't do anything. All you're going to do is press the key of the person that you want to send it to.
Which is exactly what we're doing, so it's not going to be a problem.
You hit it, it's going to beep. Your voice is going to come through if you stay on the phone. Or you hit that key, it's going to beep, but you can just hang up, and now it's ringing on that phone. You do not have to stay on the line and announce it. So if you know, one, that you just want to send it to the person or not think about it anymore, and if they don't answer or not even there, it just goes to their voicemail, it's gone.
Anyway, so.
Okay, so Jim, if I get one of you, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm on your side. No, you get a call. I get a call. It's I thought this was Jim's line. I said no problem. He's extension 107. At that point, I'm just gonna
107, and you're just going to hang up.
I'm not gonna buzz you and say there's somebody on the phone
Yep.
with you. I'm just because you were.
You'll see it on the display mostly.
And you will. The nice thing is
That's
that
nice.
regardless of who answers it, and once it gets transferred, the caller ID is going to follow the whole process.
Nice.
Good.
And we should be seeing, for sure we'll see number. This is a PRI. We may also be able to see name. I don't know for fact.
Will it save it too, like if you want to call?
Yes, this has logs. Let's come back to that. Yeah, remind me of that because this has up to 50 entries in and out.
Because sometimes it's like, ooh, what was this number?
Yep.
And I know my phone.
Absolutely. And I'll show you where that log key is. I want to make sure we get the basics done though before I start glazing the eyes of others. And so, all right. So, park is one way. The next, again, we talked about hit the key, it beeps, you talk. Now, as soon as again, let me refresh this. While you're on the phone talking with that person, as soon as you touch that key, that person's on hold. They are not hearing you. So we all know that.
We're doing
okay.
that now.
I want to make sure that you understand that. So that person is now hearing whatever we have set on hold. Right now it's tone. If we add music on hold, whatever, then that's what they will hear. So hit it once, stay on the line. You're talking through their phone. I'll set that up today so that it's auto answer. Okay, so it will go through. Or just hit the key and hang up. That's my preferred method is get rid of it. Don't touch it again. It doesn't come back. I don't have to think about it.
I would like that yesterday.
And Jim won't even know it came from me either.
As soon as you hang up, it's over because now the caller ID. Now, when you first touched his button, however, it showed your name and extension number sending it.
Oh well.
But only for that brief second, as fast as you can hit the button and hang up.
But it beeps, right? It doesn't ring.
It beeps when you hit the key. It's going to do a beep auto answer, so you just get
He'll
one
hear a
indication.
beep and,
Now, if that person were to go ahead and pick up the handset, okay, now you guys are talking, and then the other person hangs up, you'll get an alert tone before the client comes on.
Oh.
Okay.
So we can hang up or talk.
So if you're
No,
seeing
when
bad
you
things, you can stop.
when you hang up, it just rings. Just like
When
there's
we hang
Yeah.
up, it rings to you.
When the transferring party hangs up,
That's what we've been doing now.
the transfer to just rings, and you're out of the equation. So
Just
yeah.
like we've been doing now.
Yeah.
No, he means if I buzz you, I have that on the phone, say, hey Larry, this guy's on the phone, okay, I'll hang up, then you'll hear a beep, and then it'll come on, right?
Only if he picked up the handset.
Yeah.
Right. Or if somebody on a headset answered that with a headset. It's the same thing as picking up the handset.
Because like, I'll be like,
So it just kind of lets you know. Yeah, because some people, one way or the other on that. Okay, let's, so transferring calls were cool. Okay, again, almost identical to what you've been doing now. And so, nothing to have to really relearn on that particular process.
it'll be easier because the buttons will say part
Okay.
1, part 2, part 3,
Couple keys I want to bring to your attention. We do have a new key on the phone, which is a headset key. The headset key is designed for anybody who wants to add a headset. The headset will work through the handset cord. You do not need an auto lifter. Okay? It works through the cord. With the handset button, you'll notice what it does is that once it's in headset mode, I can now hit the speaker key to answer and hang up. That's now my on and off instead of having to pick up. So when I hit speaker, there's actually dial tone now or I can hear now through the handset. Even though it's hung up, that powers the headset. Okay? Now, if you pick up your handset and you're wondering why you're not getting anything when you lift it up, okay, just realize that the headset light is always lit when it's active. So To deactivate it, just hit it, wait for the speaker to go out, and it's off. Same thing to put it on. So it's real simple to turn on and off. And then just again remember that you're just using the speaker button as the same as picking up your handset or hanging up.
What's the range of the headset?
It all depends on what headsets you get. If you get a Bluetooth headset, 20 to 30 feet. If you get the old-fashioned decked headsets, 1,000 feet.
Larry, you can't go to the bathroom.
You can't go to the bathroom and come back. You could literally do that.
You just need a long enough cord.
You can multitask.
So he's talking about there is
What
like.
do you need a cord for?
Oh, you said, no, you said with the
The cordless, the cordless decked, the ones that are not Bluetooth, but they're actual cordless,
Oh.
are 1,000 feet.
Well, that would take you to the bathroom.
Bluetooth is 20 to 30 feet.
Yeah, but who
Why
really
is
wants
it not
that?
more advantageous? What's the advantage of having Bluetooth?
Larry, probably.
I see none when you're dealing with this. As a matter of fact, you get more interference issues dealing with Bluetooth than you do with anything else, and and they're more expensive through Plantronics. So, and by the way, that's a brand that I always recommend is Plantronics. They're probably one of the most solid. They're also the most expensive. Amazon.com, your best deal.
What do they run?
They can run anywhere from the headset. I think it's the CS50 or CS51. I think it's the CS50 or CS51. It's the wireless one that goes up to about 1,000 feet. It's actually great reception, not Bluetooth. The thing I don't like about Bluetooth, you walk into somebody else's office and it cuts out, and you could literally just be 2 offices away and it could not work. The other ones will work. You can walk through this entire office and you wouldn't have a problem. But you're looking at the couple $100 range per headset, more than the phones. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it is what it is, and that comes with a base. They actually come with their own custom base, and then that allows for us to dial in the exact settings for the particular phone that we're dealing with it on.
So if you're talking on a headset, people think you're talking to yourself.
Yeah. There is a light on it, but people don't pay attention to it. You could have a flashing light that says I'm on the phone, and people would still come up and talk to you.
Oh, they don't do that when you're holding a
That's
hand
right.
thing either.
Oh yeah,
When you're sitting at the phone holding the phone.
Okay, so headset was one of the few buttons that are new. To transfer calls directly to voicemail. On your last system, how did you transfer direct to a voicemail box, or did you?
Voicemail and extension.
What do you mean?
Oh, so it's coming into our own?
No.
No,
If
you're sending it to somebody else.
Yes.
Oh,
Voicemail extension.
Right.
Okay.
And we didn't even have to type the whole extension. We could just hit the button.
Yeah, just
Okay.
a button.
You should be able to do the exact same thing. There's a voicemail transfer key.
Okay.
You should be able to hit voicemail transfer, hit their button, and hang up.
That's all we did.
It should be the same exact thing. Okay.
What does it say, voicemail?
It says VM Expert transfer.
Expert.
Mhm.
Expert.
And then
Yeah, we
you
can only
hit
fit so
that
much on
and
the.
then the extension button.
That's correct.
Okay.
And if there is not an extension button that you need to send it to, there may be at some point somebody has a virtual voicemail. You can always hit voicemail transfer and dial in the
Well, that's
mailbox
what we
as
did
well.
with Larry
and hang up.
lately because he made
Yeah.
a dial it.
Now, Larry, you're back to 105.
Yay!
Well, actually, he's not. Only 106 is working right now, to be honest with you. But we're assuming that we'll get past the installation portion with the carrier, and that we'll be able to get the rest of the phones operational here today. There's a transfer key. You'll probably never have to use it,
Yeah, we had that too. We never used it.
but it's there if you need it. Okay.
A transfer.
What's it for?
A transfer key. If you needed to transfer a call to somebody or something that does not have a button, you can hit transfer and dial the extension.
Oh, which is okay.
It's
Right.
identical to basically hitting the key. So transfer, dial the extension, and you got the same option. Okay. A few other feature keys on the right-hand side that I thought would be helpful. Did you have paging before?
Yes.
Okay.
We did.
You have.
Yeah, go ahead.
This time you just hit the page key,
Okay.
and now you're paging.
Oh, you don't have to hit O or anything.
Don't have to hit
Ours
anything.
we did page and
I could
O.
hear
Okay.
it.
I've got this
Where's it?
auto set up to where it's just right here.
Okay.
So you can just hit page.
That's great. One
Okay.
button,
Now,
pushing.
and I got it. I kept it easy. The only thing that you have to remember is that when disconnecting from the page, I recommend that you use your finger to hang up the handset, not
Oh.
the handset.
Oh.
Because otherwise.
Clunkety clunk.
It does that now.
It
Oh,
also
I
will
didn't know
time
that.
out. Bless you. It will also time out with
Bless you.
with the page, it only goes for about 30 to 45 seconds. It's a very short
We don't
timer.
need long, it's just.
Yeah, and the reason for that is that if you accidentally hit it, somebody comes in and interrupts you.
Right,
You're
it
talking
goes
about
on and
Survivor
on and on.
or whatever, some other show, and then you forget that you're on the paging system, telling everybody about what you just did, the previous evening or what have you. So it will go ahead and
Is that you?
stop.
Yeah, Blush.
Okay. The next key down is a do not disturb key,
We have that now.
and so.
Jim's favorite key.
Don't show me.
Where is that key?
That's the one.
What does it say, DND?
Can we lock somebody out of
It
it?
says do not. I can remove the feature.
What does the key say?
Mine's worn out,
It
by
says
the way.
DND. Same as ours, Stephanie.
It's
Same
like
as ours.
Now, you'll notice you can see if your phone's in do not disturb. The light's very indicative. The display tells you you're in do not disturb. And when the phone's in do not disturb, nobody's getting through for any reason whatsoever. It's out of commission.
Yeah.
You can still make outbound calls with your phone
Or
in do
I
not
can put
disturb.
a voicemail in.
Yes, you can. You can go
Same
to
as our old
voicemail.
phone.
Yeah, which is what we do.
Exactly.
So if you're in a meeting, or you're on a line and there's an incoming call, can you hit do not
Oh, yeah, we
disturb
do
and
that
it will
now.
just,
No.
that second call will
Oh,
go
we
directly
love
to
that. We
voicemail?
do it now.
What about if you're,
If you're on a call,
yeah.
I have to think of whether or not we'll have to
Works
test that.
good.
I don't know if you can actually. I know when a call is ringing to you, I
Do you
don't
guys
believe
use
you
that?
can force it into do
Do you
not
use that?
disturb.
Oh,
right
really?
there.
Okay,
You
you
can
can't.
now.
Do you use that, Michelle?
Okay.
use it,
I do it all
the time.
I know you do. I know you do.
So it'll just, you have to
You'll have to
ring
let it time out.
3 times and then it'll just go to
That's
voicemail.
correct.
You just
Yeah,
let
I
it go.
believe so.
I
We
think
can
I
test it. I
You'll
honestly
check
don't
it.
know.
You'll check and see.
I asked you that last time you were here.
Yeah.
And
You'll
you
check
didn't know
it
the answer, and I guess we'll just test it.
We'll just have to test it.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah,
do that.
we'll have to
That is
test it.
something we do.
Because I have
I like
been
that.
that. Somebody calls
So-
in and I go, I can't deal with this person.
Now,
Next,
on every telephone,
You guys.
with do not disturb on every telephone, it will also alert the key of that person on your phone. So, whoever puts it in D&D, now this doesn't have a key.
That doesn't work.
Okay, so if we go to a phone that does have a key, such as Ryan's right now, that's one of the phones, or Brad, for example, we could put his on. We're going to see that 103 is going to tell us that he's in do not disturb.
Oh, we didn't
We're
have
going to
that.
know that.
Oh.
As
So-
opposed to on the phone.
That's good.
Correct.
Oh, that's
Okay.
really
Okay.
good. That's a
Oh,
really,
so you
really,
can go
really
interrupt
good.
Yeah, so you-
If we want to, we can just go interrupt it.
There's
Like
no
your
guessing.
son.
Oh, that will help us so much with Jim.
Yeah, I know.
Wait. How do you know which do not
Sometimes we
disturb
don't know if you're really on the
Yeah.
phone. We're not going to walk down there.
I know.
Yeah, let's try. Actually,
Yeah.
would somebody be willing on the Brad's phone is connected right now?
Yeah.
If somebody's willing just to push the D&D button, and then we'll see what it looks like on this end here.
Oh, because it
That
looks,
is.
so like if they're on
Then I
a
know
call,
that I
it's
can actually-
solid,
Yeah,
and
go
then
in.
if they're not,
It should flash.
I never.
oh.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's no grace in it.
I have a photo for anybody because if they're photos available out.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so this is a do not disturb indication on the phone. Look at Brad's key,
Yeah.
It's flashing.
and you get that burst
It's
of.
a real chatter.
You get that, yeah.
Yeah.
Same as what you would see on the top of the phone. You're going to see on the key.
So it's not just
Do
continuing.
you have any extra
it's-
LED lights
Yeah.
in case somebody's,
Burns
burns
Permanently do not disturb.
I'll have to swap keys or something. Yeah. So anyway, so the cool thing is that once.
This office.
Yeah, so you'll know for sure whether somebody's actually on the phone. Because
That-
on the
that
phone
is
it's
great.
solid.
That's
light.
good. That's so good.
Okay.
You don't like this new technology?
When Ryan's here, can we still all make fun of you, or do we have
Oh,
that?
yes.
Okay. He'll probably love it.
The only other thing on the phone itself, I also included a last number redial just to keep it easy.
Yeah, we couldn't use
I
that.
really like
Yeah,
that.
that
Used
never
to years
worked.
and years ago, and then years ago did when we
Yeah,
first
Well,
got
okay, it didn't
That's
work
my
I
favorite.
know.
from the time I
keep
did.
going. It has
Everything on the
not.
phone did. If you
And that
saw
would
it
be
on the
nice.
display,
Oh.
you could.
Here's what
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
here's
push.
another thing, is that you do have all these other features that you can do just by hitting the scroll button.
That
It
was my
immediately
expression.
gives you other options like call, other, answer. There's other things, voicemail. You can actually go in, and then if you select one of these, you use the soft keys to select it. Last number redial, same number redial, speed dial.
Yeah.
There's more. Directory, log.
Oh,
If
that's
I
what-
want to
that
look
was
at
what I
my
was gonna ask
log,
you. That's what I wanted to know.
I can hit my log and I can say, well, what calls did I make out, or what
Perfectly.
calls did I
That's
make
what I
in?
wanted.
I look at my inbound calls and it says there are no entries in this list because this phone's never made an outbound call.
And
Or
how
had
many
an
how many
inbound call.
How long was it? So how do we get last
50.
number?
50 calls.
How do we get redial last number or net last number?
Redial last number, just hit the key.
Or if you want to check down the log.
Or go to the log, right. So in this case, you would have to go to the call button.
Call button.
And let's see what it was, log.
Okay.
So you
In.
first hit
Call
this
logs
button.
in
Not
or
coming
out.
or incoming. Okay, so incoming.
So scroll.
Oh, yeah. And then that's what I thought. And then
Call.
Call.
You have to see the arrow. It says there's more options than this.
would
The
like
scroll
to
button
have
is your
that
arrow
couple
key.
of-
So think of these as being 4 keys, basically,
Okay.
along the top, and then each one of these lines up with what's
Like
happening.
your
Oh, yeah, yeah.
scroll is like
Okay.
a function.
So
Got it.
log ends up
Got
being
it.
the second one, and then in or out
Got
would be
it.
this or this.
Okay.
That's
The
good.
scroll is always going to be your start, or the little arrow key
Yeah.
means that there's more options. You can hit scroll to see more options. Okay? Now, there's a lot of features that are built into that little scroll button, tons. Okay? And this is where I'm going to say it's probably not worth it today to go into all the options that are available on that, because for the most part, people use everything I just put on here. 90% of what you're ever going to use is already
Right,
on
it's already there.
So, the other aspect, which is really important. Now, before we move on, volume control.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
here at the bottom of the phone, whether you're on speaker or handset, you can adjust the volume.
Okay.
It will
Okay.
stay at the
Good.
last setting that you set it at.
Good.
Okay, so whatever you had it at last, that's where it's going to stay. It will
So
not
when-
default back continuously to an old setting.
I need to put on
That's
very
voice, not
loud for
ring.
Bob.
That's just the voice, not ring.
Even when it rings, you can go ahead and adjust it while it's
the
ringing.
ringtone. Okay, the ring adjusts also.
Anything that happens with this, you can adjust it and get it where you want it.
Okay.
Now, certain things are going to be on the same volume control, such as your announcement and your ring. Those are going to be pretty similar. Page, that's going to be the same as your announcement and also your ring, because that's all external functions that are happening to your phone. But when you pick up the handset or when you go on a speakerphone, that's going to be different.
So to make outside call, do we still press 9 and then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you will.
Alright.
Definitely dial 9.
No, you
outside.
get to that. It's how it's done.
Oh, yeah.
Press 9, dial your number.
Same thing.
Same thing. Same thing. And then with what you have here as well, now do you also transfer calls to cell phones or anything like that currently? Okay, well you can. You
You
can.
won't have to anymore.
Not forwarding.
Oh, maybe
I
you
actually
will.
mean transfer a call. So you could actually be on a call and actually transfer it to somebody.
To a cell phone number?
And the way that you're going to do
Oh, I
that,
just know when I answered the phone, if I had answered that one, I wanted
you could
to
transfer
talk
to your
Brad.
cell phone.
No, I wanted to transfer. I could have transferred to Brad.
If it was ringing on this system here, you could transfer it to
Not
Brad.
from your cell phone to Brad.
No, I know.
Right.
I said this. Yeah.
By hitting transfer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is where you would have to hit transfer. Dial 9 for outside dial tone.
And then dial the number.
And dial the full
That's
10-digit
perfect.
1 plus the number.
Okay.
Wait for that person to go ahead and get on the line, and when you hang up, they're not going to be able to talk on that line. Now, here's the thing: you don't want to do it too frequently because it takes up 2 call paths. One for the person who called in, one for that you just bridged out. So it's a conference call.
I was just going to say, how do we conference?
And how many call paths do we have? Is that what?
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8.
Oh, so we can only have 8 calls
Just like we did before. That's what we have
That's
now.
what you have now.
That's
Oh,
what
okay,
it
we have now.
said
Yep.
Just, it seems like.
You only have 8 lines right now, so
That's how we have
we're
it.
emulating that. Just realize that whenever you set up a conference or transfer off premise,
It takes 2.
it takes 2.
It takes 2 of them, which we don't want to do because we
Correct.
do use 8. I mean, we could use 8.
No,
Especially during tax season, that's what I'm
But
thinking.
we've never used 8's never been a problem.
Okay.
now, before we get into any other in-depth features, let's just talk about setting up voicemail, because this is what I want everybody to remember. And then if anybody wants to kind of learn a little bit more about what we have here, we can talk about
You
maybe
might
a
want
little
to
bit
talk
more in
about
depth.
conference, so don't forget. We'll do that one.
I just wondered
Conference
how.
calls.
It's not part of.
It's actually, conference is real easy. It's very intuitive. And it actually walks you through it while you're on the phone. See, I can't set up a conference until I get my first call on the line. And once I've got a call on the line, if I look up here at my scroll
here you
keys,
go.
one of them is going to give you a conference option.
And then I can just call out.
You're just going to hit that conference button.
And that
It's going to
counts.
say, get your second line. So
That's
you're
how-
just going to go ahead and you're going to do what the next thing is it tells you to do. And then when you hit conference, it's going to ask if you want to add another line, or you're just going to hit conference again and everybody's bridged.
And then in networks, if my first call is an in or an
Then
out.
walk me through it.
If your first call is an intercom call, you can still...
Not intercom, I mean, they called me or I called
Doesn't
them.
matter.
Okay.
System doesn't care.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank
doesn't
you.
care if it was incoming or outgoing, doesn't care.
And just because we have, I think it's because we have the
I don't
PRI.
know why that's not stable.
Both lines, the two lines will have the same
Volume. Auto leveling happens in PRI automatically. It's not like when you have two what we call POTS lines or traditional.
Right now, one of our people probably can't hear.
You get a 3 dB loss. You get 50% degradation of volume on both sides of the call. With the PRI or the current circuit that's coming in, you're going to get auto leveling. It's going to sound as if they were the original parties. They should be able to hear. The two outside parties should be able to hear as well as you hear on the call. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. More than two parties, 3 parties. You can go up to 5 on this. Just to let you know. Again, remember, for every party you have on in your conference, you're taking a call pass.
Yes, I know.
So you're 1 party, 2 party, 3
We don't.
party,
How
no
often
lines
do we
left,
get-
and
It's not that often.
We don't.
so.
Occasionally.
The most important thing, though, is to get your voicemail set up so that when people come in, call into the system, because everybody's used to going really direct to your own personal lines, this is kind of an important thing. My recommendation is do 1 step at a time if you don't want to have to try to navigate this. Okay? So here's what I suggest, is actually hit the, now this doesn't have a voicemail box because it's a conference room phone, but ultimately you're going to hit voicemail message.
Enter your password.
I'm going to enter my passcode. 4
For a
zeros.
list of options, press
I
the
knew that.
Okay,
That's
so
all of our.
4
Did I know
zeros.
that, Bob? I had to
Right
get
now.
one out of the other room. Bob goes, how did you do that? I said, I had 4 zeros.
Enter your password.
So I just hit voicemail message. 1, 2, 3, 4.
For a list of options, press 0. To exit, press the start.
Okay, now you're going to hear something different. Because this doesn't have a mailbox, that's why it's asking for a list of options. There's no mailbox associated with this particular phone. So if we went to Brad's phone, for example, and I hit that, it's going to start asking me what do I want to do in my voicemail. What ultimately you're going to do is get these 5 steps set up in your phone. The purpose behind these steps...
Phones are up. The lines are up.
Okay, great.
So you know.
All right, I'll be there in just about 2 minutes, and we'll get them on the phone system and test, okay?
Can I ask you one question just really quick?
Mhm.
Because it does have an extension, so somebody could
Has
hit
an
that and
extension.
leave a voicemail there.
Don't want that to
No,
happen.
we
in a
don't
conference
want it to, but it has. So I've
It won't.
so
No voicemail. If somebody gets
so
transferred
somebody
to this,
gets one or whatever this
it's
is.
going to get transferred back over to the operator.
I was
in
gonna
the event
ask
it
what
doesn't get
Good,
answered.
because that's always been.
Yeah, the
we've always had to
kitchen,
put something
the
on
supply
there.
room, the
Good.
server room
Perfect,
are
that's
all
way better.
phones that do not have voicemail
Good.
boxes
Including
on
my
them,
pouch.
including the guest.
Yes.
That is
Okay, good,
correct. So
good.
the guest has no voicemail as
Perfect.
well.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I just want to make
No,
sure.
that's absolutely.
Because
We're
before
trying to
we
think
had
ahead
that,
about
and
You
I
see
used
a
to have.
flashing light on the conference room phone. It's like,
No,
what
what
am
I
I
used
going
to
to
do,
do with that?
what I did on all those, I put a message on there saying it's an invalid extension dial,
There you go.
but we don't have to do
You
that.
don't have to do that.
Okay, good.
Yep. Yeah, we just combated it by just eliminating it entirely. So when going into the voicemail box, after you enter your 4 zeros for your passcode, you'll notice if you want to change your passcode, just do the 3 steps that it says right here, the pound, the 7, and the 1, and it will walk you through changing your passcode. When you're done changing your passcode, and make sure you listen, she's going to ask you to save it in all of these steps. If you don't save it,
It won't be.
it isn't done. Okay.
Okay.
So make sure you save, and she'll walk you through that process for each step that you do. She'll ask you if you want to save it. Normally it's pound to save. Maybe different depending on what option that you're in. So once you've saved it, my recommendation is hang up on her and start over so that you don't have to try to navigate to one of these other areas.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hang up in between each.
So you
Right.
say,
So
say
just
each
hang up.
step.
Once you've got step 1 done, just hang up.
Okay.
And then do step 2 by hitting voicemail, dialing your 4 zeros. Well, in this case, if you did step 1, your new passcode.
Yeah.
Your new passcode. And then do your pound 7-2 to go ahead and record your name. And again, just the name. This is because when it transfers to it or whatever happens, if you put some kind of a greeting or something else in there, it won't work properly. So just your first and last name is what it's looking for.
Okay.
Then it's going to ask for your spell by name directory. This is becoming less and less used. And let me tell you why. Does anybody have a smartphone?
Right here.
Do you notice on your smartphones you don't have digits associated with the numbers? Okay, it's here we have ABC on number 2.
Right.
How do you tell that on a smartphone?
Right.
You don't.
Yeah.
So most people calling in today don't use spell by name directory because it's
No, you don't.
it's not even accessible.
You
On an
don't have a
iPhone,
1, 2, 3, ABC.
if you have an iPhone, you can ask for the digits.
Yeah,
You have a way where you can,
They're in the options. Oh, you do have it set up?
iPhone has it on there.
Ah.
See the ABC on number 2.
Why you
Yeah.
guys tell me I don't? I'm looking right at it.
It's one of the few phones that
share. You can't
Oh,
see
okay.
that.
You're mistaken.
Oh, right, I meant direct numbers.
But
You
that's-
must have a new one.
But yeah, so BlackBerry, all that kind of stuff doesn't have it on there. Of course, that's become non-existent anyway.
Okay.
All
But
right.
we need to do it anyway.
So as you go through each of the, do it anyway though, because there are still people who use home phones
Yes.
where it will be
Right,
on there.
landlines and.
And so do it anyway, and just follow the steps for that. And again, make sure you save. Okay? And now the last two items. This is important. You have to do both. Okay? Because you have direct dial lines that may be able to call directly into your extension, and if you're not there, it could go into your voicemail. It needs to have this no answer greeting recorded, and you also have to have your primary mailbox recorded. Okay? Don't make them different. Make them identical.
Oh,
Keep it simple. So, the same greeting that you use for your primary greeting, use for the other. Because Samsung thought they were being smart by doing this. I beg to differ on this one point. It causes a lot of confusion. So that's why I tell people just record both of them identically. And if you ever need to change your greeting, change both
of them.
Okay, so when we go on vacation, we change both.
Change both.
Okay.
Change both. Because what happens is that if I transfer a call directly into a voicemail, it's going to play the primary box greeting. If I transfer a call to that station and it rings and then doesn't answer, it's going to go to the no answer greeting. If you don't record your no answer greeting, a default greeting comes on and says, that extension did not answer. If you'd like another option, you can do this, or this, or stay on the line to leave a message. Then your greeting comes on. So, just to simplify the process and really make it a better situation, I just again recommend that you do both. Okay? And again, follow the prompts. When you do 5 and 1, now especially for your no answer greeting, at first when you hit 5 and then you hit 1, the first thing they're going to say is, select your no answer greeting number 1. Okay? You're always going to record greeting number 1 for this particular no answer greeting. On your primary greeting, it doesn't ask you that. Okay? That's the only thing you need to be aware of. And again, listen to her when she tells you to save.
Which, you said the
Well,
Number 4.
Yeah, but he's been thinking this is primary, but Samsung says the primary is the no answer.
Okay. And actually
But you've been kind of referring to.
Yeah,
it
and it's only because
I know.
Because 5.7 actually is your main mailbox greeting, even though they call this your primary. This is your primary no answer greeting.
Okay. So the no answer, you're going to do 1.
Yes.
Okay, and the other one, you're going to just, it doesn't ask.
It doesn't ask.
That's correct.
Okay.
What does DID mean?
Direct in dial, and that's what you have. You have
Okay.
direct in dial. So
Just
because you have a private
wondered,
number,
did
and all the
we
private
leave it
numbers
on
are
the
associated
I did
with
not
your
know.
extension number, and so I have a list that I think you may have a list too that we could probably hand out to everybody. But it has all the phone numbers associated with what your extension and your private number is now with your phone.
We have a block of numbers, and we assign the last 3 digits to
Oh,
correspond
right.
to our
Extensions.
existing
Ah.
extension number.
Gotcha.
Right. When we're outside and we want to call
I was just
for a
going to ask
voicemail,
that.
All you have to do is when you're calling in from the outside world and you hear the auto attendant, press pound. It knows you're a user on the system.
just
It's
like
going to ask you for your mailbox number.
Okay.
Once
Just
you
like
enter your
our
mailbox
Verizon
number,
does.
it's going to ask you for your passcode. So because you're
Okay.
always in auto attendant mode, you're just going to call the main number.
Okay, perfect. Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't have to call your private number and try to go through your mailbox.
Okay.
You
You
just
don't
call
have
the
the
main number,
little
hit
central-
pound.
You call the phone number, you hit pound, it'll ask you for your mailbox, and then your passcode, and you're
That's
done.
it.
That's
So
what we
here
do
in the
off
office,
Ranch Ranch with
Our
Verizon.
voicemail box, the button will be blinking to show
Yes,
you.
it will. And it'll also show you how many messages you have in the
Oh,
display.
Right.
That's nice.
And when you hit your voicemail,
Enter your password.
it's going to give you options. Do you want to play?
Delete,
What you
save.
can
Enter
actually
your
use your
password.
soft keys then to go ahead and manipulate it.
Okay.
So the display, it's all integrated.
Can you change both of those messages from an outside line?
Yes. Once you're in your mailbox, it's no different whether you're inside or outside. So if you call from the outside,
Yeah.
press pound and dial your passcode, you're going to get the exact same options that you have inside.
so
or
you
it
can
doesn't
do
matter.
5.
Passcode or your
Just like we do for
Mailbox.
like we do in Ranch
your
Ranch.
mailbox number first.
It's going to be
And then
pound and then
pound.
mailbox.
And then passcode.
And then your passcode. That's
And
correct.
then you can start with,
Yeah.
then you put
And
5.
don't hit pound and wait for them to tell you to enter your passcode or your mailbox, excuse me. Just hit pound and then dial your extension
Yeah, that's
number.
what-
And then what will happen is it'll come on and ask you for your passcode. Yes, but you're absolutely correct. Now from your voice over IP phones, you'll actually have a light that will flash anytime your voicemail here has a voicemail, and you'll just press that key and follow it right into your mailbox.
Now, some of you do not use passcodes for your voicemail. If you don't, that's fine, but if you do, and you're going to change them, and they're different than what I have, I need to have them, just in case something happens to somebody has access to get it.
I didn't know we could do passcode. We just leave it at 4 zeros?
It defaults with 4
Some of us
zeros,
are
but I
using
don't
them
recall
somewhere.
whether or not you can actually.
Wipe it out entirely.
She may give you an option to say if you don't want to use a passcode, you may be able to enter something to
Right now,
eliminate it,
some
but
of
I
us
don't
don't
recall.
have it, some do.
I never did until, remember about 6-7 months ago.
Oh,
When I
you-
said I never had a passcode, and you said you have to have one.
Okay.
Not Siri. Yep. Something Samsung's conjured up.
Yes, that was something, yeah.
Are there any
Jim doesn't have one,
questions
so-
on the phones at this point? I know that's kind of a high
come in any
overview,
other colors?
that we did,
No,
but I think that'll get you
did
working.
very good, thank you.
That'll get you working.
And now that the lines are, let's do that. We
Yeah.
always ask
So
questions later.
let me
I'd
get
love
the
to
rest
go
of your
get
phones
those
up.
going because